continue with the Diamond Sutra, and last time we finished section 17, and we should be starting section 18 today. But before we start, section 1 to 17 that we have learned, is important that we grasp the most important concept in the Diamond Sutra. In the Diamond Sutra, it is very, very important that we know what is the ego. So it's always mentioned in there, no ego, no personality, and no beings, and no life or longevity or life. A lot of negating this. Personality, ego, personality, beings, and life. So these are the four fallacious ego concepts that you will have to get rid of. So basically, in the North American language is elimination of your ego. Now then you have to understand what is this ego that we have. Or after you know that you have to make sure that you have no attachment to ego, then you have no attachment to Dharma. When you have a completely no attachment to ego, all your mental afflictions are gone. Now how do you do this complete elimination of ego? By practicing contemplation of egoness. No ego. Without ego, then that means you have no mental afflictions anymore. No mental afflictions, then you attain enlightenment. When you attain enlightenment, that means you attained nirvana. So that's the first concept that you should know. Elimination of the ego, generally speaking, elimination of the ego. When the ego is eliminated, all your mental afflictions will be eliminated. Then you have to understand what are our mental afflictions. Some people don't even understand what kind of mental afflictions we have. Don't know. What is this ego? Don't know. So by studying the Diamond Sutra, we know. And all this will lead to enlightenment. And this enlightenment will lead to nirvana. What is nirvana? What is parinirvana? All these you have to understand. And then it goes further. The Diamond Sutra goes further. Elimination of the ego is not the ultimate enlightenment. It's already a very, very, it's a tremendous achievement already in the process of enlightenment, in the process of purification of one's mind. But that's not the ultimate. You still have to work and practice further. What do? The elimination of Dharma. Elimination of the ego is a Dharma. A Dharma includes everything. It includes everything you see, you touch, you feel. It also includes your philosophy, your psychology. It comprises almost everything in the universe, including your spiritual thinking, your philosophical thinking. Even that has to go. Even the Dharma of eliminating your ego has to go. So that is elimination of Dharma. If you eliminate your Dharma, that means you eliminate your knowledge affliction. In the first one, elimination of the ego, if we do it by analogy, you remove all your blockages in the road of mentality. The second one, you remove all your blockages in your knowledge. What you know is an obstruction to you. This is what I know, this is my view. What you know is actually obstructing your enlightenment, and we don't know about it. We think what we know, we're justified in telling people what we know. This is what I think. This is what I firmly believe, and nobody's going to change me. This is a knowledge obstruction. So by elimination of Dharma, you eliminate your knowledge obstructions. You're completely free. You're free from the ego. You're free from your view, your obstruction from your own view. Then you lead to what? The enlightenment of the Bodhi enlightenment, and we could also call it the Anuttara Samya Sambuddhi. But that's not yet the ultimate. You still have to carry on practice. What do you eliminate next? The elimination of no Dharma. Or you can say, no Dharma. If you come to the elimination of no Dharma, you begin to see that ultimate, complete, supreme enlightenment. Do you understand yourself? Do you understand this entity or ego called I, or John, or Jeanette, or Rick, or Winston, or whatever name you call, or whatever name your dad gives you? It's just a name. That name is not you. That name only labelizes you, in a certain way stigmatize you, stereotype you in a certain way. So what does this ego make up of? You really have to understand. If you keep on reading the Diamond Sutra and you don't even know this basic concept, it wouldn't help you very much. What is this ego? Let's analyze it. What is cosmic existence? What exists? What is the universal existence? If we can classify all existence very simply in two ways. One is material elements, the other is mental elements. If we can do that. Because you really, if you analyze something, you really have to call it something and categorize it. Everything is just made up, everything, whatever you see, is made up of either material or mental. Material you can see, mental you can't see. Material elements and mental elements. Whatever I see, whatever I touch, this is material. But in the material elements, inherent in it is the mentality. Who make this bell, who make this house? It's the mentality that drives to make it come into realization. So the material contains the mentality in it. And how about the mental elements? The mental elements does not include the material element because you can't see it. But the mental elements are expressed by material elements. But anyway, there's material elements and mental elements. If we try to analyze me, I, myself, I can look at it in these two ways too. What is my material element in me? What is material element in me? Don't you know your material element? We really have to understand yourself, myself. If you don't even think of, where do I come from? Why did I get born into this world? Why do I have to go through what I have gone through? And why all these things happen to me? Where did I come from? Where would I go after I died? All this is the analysis of yourself. You've got to know something about yourself, do you? Every day when you go out to work, before you go to study, you walk to the washroom and you look at your mirror, you brush your teeth, you clean your face, and you look at yourself. That's yourself. And somebody said, that's not myself. That's not myself that I'm looking at. It's not really myself. I'm looking at the material elements of myself. That's not yourself. So, what is this self make up of? Material and mental. What is this material that make up of me? Any grade 5 or grade 6, grade 7 studying science and biology, they would tell you, I make up of me, and me, I have a head, I have limbs, I have a body, And if I continue to analyze my material elements, I have this internal organ, I have my heart, my lung, my kidney, my bones, and everything. I've got everything in me that constitute a person in me. Is all these things, a conglomeration of all these things, really you? That's your material elements only, not the real you. So material elements, what am I made up of? These internal organs, my skin, my bone, my saliva, my blood, my urine, my phlegm, the liquid in me or the blood in me, that's material elements. And how about my mental elements? What are my mental elements? Other than the material elements I look at. Mental elements, I can't see them, but they're expressed by my material elements. What are these mental elements? My perception, my conception, my volition, my consciousness. These are the 4 mental elements. So I got this one material element, which I call the what? The body. And all this perception, conception, volition, and consciousness, what do I call it? The mind. And what do I make up of? Body plus mind. How do I interact with the outside world? I have these 6 organs. My eyes, my nose, my ears, my tongue, my skin, my body, sensitive to the touch. I have senses. I have the 6 sense organs. And my 6 sense organs interact with the outside world. How do I interact with the outside world? I'm talking about just the body right now, simply speaking. How do I interact with the outside world? My eyes. My eyes see. My eyes see forms, matter. My eyes see matter. Can your eyes see sound? No, your eyes can't see sound. Can my eyes feel taste? No, your eyes can't feel taste. Can your eyes speak? No, of course not. So the eyes interact with matter. Your ear interact with sound. Your nose interact with fragrance or smell. Your tongue interacts with taste. Your body interacts with what? Tactile objects, touch. And then this brain or mind, the mind, interact with everything in the world. It controls also the eyes, the nose, the ears, the taste. So this is how we interact with the outside world. This, what we call I, give rise to volition. How do we give rise to volition? When we see something, for example, when we see something, well, this is perception. You got your eyes, your material, then you see something. When you see that something, it goes through the manas consciousness to judge that's red, that's white, that's green. And then that manas consciousness also flash back. Oh, this is John. This is my friend. Oh, this guy looks bad. This is a good-looking guy. This is a bad-looking guy. That guy is poor. That guy is sick. That guy I hate. You start to discriminate it. You start to conceptualize it. You start to pull into the memory to reinforce your discrimination, to reinforce your analysis, and then it gets stored in your consciousness. And in the process of this volition, we create karma. How do we create karma? What is karma? You create karma because your mentality is in contact with the environment, with the outside world. Your mentality, your spirituality inside, through the organs, interact with the outside world, and in these interactions, because of that I, the seventh consciousness, it breeds, the ego, the egoism, the egoistic feeling breeds three things. in the process of interaction. What are just three things? Greediness, hatred, and ignorance. Those are just the generalizations. How did greediness come out in me? How did ignorance come out in me? How did hatred comes out in me? It's a very intricate and complicated procedures in the interaction of your own mentality, because it flashes back to many lives ago, to the memory, projects into the future, and attached to the present. So because of these interactions, you carry out actions. Actions from the body, which becomes behavior. Actions from the mouth becomes speeches. Actions from the mind becomes the mentality, your habitual thinking. All this create karma. All this is responsible for killing, stealing, lying, sexual misconduct, arrogance, fraudulence, negligence, hatred, jealousy, anxiety, depression. You name them. You need to read the newspapers to verify this. All the news today. We don't read newspapers because we haven't got time. We do all these studies, but I read newspapers before. It's nothing but karma that it contains in newspapers. The mass media. When you watch televisions, what does it project to you? Violence, sex, international arguments, wars, disgruntles, crimes. Of course, there are good things. Donations, charity, educators, peace lovers. Your mind not only does bad things, it carries out good things too. Both have karma. Bad thing, bad cause will lead to bad result, bad karma. Good things, good cause will lead to good result, good karma. Which one you prefer? Which one have we been doing? I would say mostly bad karma. If you flip to the newspapers, how many times did it say, Mr. A has donated $10 million to charity? Do you see that every day? Or Mr. A has killed Mr. B, or there's a break-in, there's a burglary, there is traffic accidents caused by drunken drivers, there is broken homes, drunken fathers, there is child abuse. What kind of karma you see the most in newspapers? So we create our own karma. You're responsible for creating this world. We created this world. Not God. We have to be responsible. Don't blame God for all these inequalities. God wouldn't have created all these inequalities for you. You yourself have created all these. So would you be responsible for what you have done? From now on, would you be more careful of your mentality? Because you know that if you do bad things, it will lead to bad karma. If you do good things, good cause, good karma. Isn't it simple? It is simple, but most people don't understand. They just keep on creating bad karmas. Analyze all these arguments at home. What do they start with? They start with something trivial, and then it develops and develops into something really a tragedy. How does a newlywed couple start? They start with love. The next year, third year, second year, third year, I don't know how long, it ends up in a divorce. How did they start? How did they end? Why? They created their own karma. They created their own misunderstanding. This is how the Buddha's teaching fit in. The Buddha said, gear your ego away from it. It's you yourself that you have to tackle. If something goes wrong, don't blame the others. How about you yourself? If you start this love, you render your love first. You don't ask for a return immediately. You don't want to say, you love me, therefore I love you. You've got to start from you. Why don't you start from yourself? If something has to be changed, why do you require your partner to change first? Why don't you change yourself first? Why do you always have to put the blame on others? So, all this is about the Buddha's teaching. Nothing about worshiping, nothing about prostration, nothing about blind faith. It's about the analysis of yourself and how do you interact with other people in the righteous way, in a way that's marked with morality, with charity, with endurance, with wisdom. After all this help you to develop. After all this help you, your own mentality to develop to a point that you find joy in life, satisfaction in life, happiness in life. You can't find happiness just by leading at a Buddha and say, Buddha, give me the blessings. I like happiness. Please give me the happiness. And you don't work at it. There's no free lunch. You need to work at it. Starting from tomorrow on, work at it. Don't postpone, don't delay anymore. You're wasting your time. Every day you're doing the same thing, the same rigmarole of going to work, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and karaoke, and TV, and talking on the phone. And are this bettering our life? Of course, we have responsibilities to fulfill. Once you fulfill a responsibility, you're going to find out more about this spirituality of life. Don't just look at the material side of life. How about the spiritual side? It's the spiritual that dominates the material. Does the material comes out by itself? You see the car on the road, is it just comes out from the road? It comes out from the mind. All good acts comes out from the mind. All bad acts comes out from the mind too. Which one you prefer? Most people, unnoticingly, and sometimes spontaneously from their habitual thinking, tend to divert to the bad side. Why? Because we've been surrounded by bad habits, by habitually bad thinking. One of these bad habits, just to pick up from the air, and I can tell you right now, is killing animals for food. That's a habitual thinking of human civilization. You kill the pigs, the cows, the lambs, the sheep, the chickens, the dogs, you kill them brutally for food. You think that's right? It's been accepted by the society. But the Buddha said that's not right. You're creating karma. You breed the feeling of killing. You're decreasing your compassion, your kindness, your benevolence. That's the Buddha's teaching. I'm just telling you one facet of it. Are you not interested in it? Or you go on your daily life without knowing what the Buddha is talking about? Or you just come to meditation for relaxation. I just want to relax. Meditation is not just for relaxation. It's to find out your own wisdom. It's to tackle the problems that you have inside of you. It's to help others to tackle problems. That's what we call a bodhisattva's way of thinking. Render your compassion out unconditionally. You're willing to bear the burden on behalf of all sentient beings because you and all sentient beings, you're one. You're not different. In the enlightenment circle, it's all one. No difference. Karma starts from discrimination. From that difference, you think you're different from others. Because you got that ego, and you have been in that comfort zone for too long. For how long? We have been in our comfort ego zone for very, very long. How long? Since birth? No. Since many lifetimes ago. You are what you are today is because what you have done in your past life too, not just this life. You are what you are, you encounter what you have encountered because of both the past life and the present life. Can you change? Of course. Everything is changing. That's the concept of changeability. That's the concept of emptiness. There's nothing that is not changed. There's nothing that is not changing. There's nothing in this world that's not changing. Not even the molecule, not even the proton, the neutron. They are actively moving all the time. Just like our thought. Why am I talking about all these? We've got to know ourselves. The study of Buddhism is about a study of oneself. And if you know Buddhism, for example, if you do meditation, how does it help you? People like to see benefits, you know. What's the immediate benefits of Buddhism? It's a roadway to better mental health. It's a remedy. It's a betterment of mental health. It resolves your problem of anxiety, of depression. It's your own mental health. Meditation leads to a betterment of mental health. More than just your own mental health, it leads to the betterment, it leads to better humanization, better civilization. Why? Because all this will help you to become a better, a righteous person, have a pure mind. You're not becoming too egoistic now. You're changing. You're working for the majority. Anything that works towards the welfare of the majority would gear towards the right way. That's why the American President Lincoln is successful, because he's thinking about emancipation, thinking about freedom. If he's thinking about his own party, how to benefit his own party, you think he will be as successful? Anything that geared towards the betterment of the mass, of all people, will be successful, not just selfishly about your own ego. So, I'm talking about I, because the ego, we have to eliminate the ego. But before you eliminate your ego, you got to realize that you have that own ego. Sometimes you don't even realize it, because thought basically has three categories. Every thought basically has three categories. The one is very crude category, the very crude and the very refined, and of course there's the intermediate. Very crude, you may discover your own thought. Say that if you hit someone, oh, I know it's wrong to hit him. Some people may not even know a crude thought is wrong. He hit someone and he got caught, he got thrown in jail, then he know, oh, I shouldn't have hit that person. But if he can control his mind before he strikes out his fist, he stops. Because his righteousness control his own crude thought. Some people can't even control his crude, not refined, crude thought. That's why people become criminals. They only know once they have committed the error. They committed the crime only after the fact. But the more wise people, they know their crude thought is they stop at that point. No, I can't do it. I can't do these bad things, because that will lead to certain consequences. That's a crude category. There's also the intermediate category, which is more refined, and then it's the very refined category, a very refined thought. Refined thought, it comes out, you don't even know about it. That thought, you don't even know about it. For example, I realize sometimes, I think everybody have that ability, not just me. You can read people's mind. Not just me. I mean, everybody can. If you're always in meditation, if you always have that equanimity of mind, you can read people's mind. We're not looking for that supernatural power, but you have that. For example, when I look at a person, I know that his mind is hanging on. Just give you an example. A meditator in here, and then there's a new lady coming in, and he thinks, oh, that's a good-looking lady. When he was circumambulating, he will look at that lady. He may not even know about it, that he has that refined, intermediate thought in his mind. Oh, there's a good-looking guy, there's a good-looking lady. And what would that thought lead to? The thought of sensuous feeling. And then it keeps on going and going and going. It's just like when you watch movies. You have to watch out what a youngster watch movies. If a youngster keep on watching porno movie every day, he's going to commit it. He's going to commit things that his parents won't allow him to do. Because he watches so much that he becomes habitually thinking that way. He thought that's cool. That's what he should do. So study your mind. What is meditation? What are we doing in here? Are we just taking our rituals? And Lee explained the 3 A's of meditation: adjustment for the body, the breath, and the mind. And then, okay, we got this exercise, and then it helps me in my mental health, and that is it. No, it points towards enlightenment.